Guys, welcome back to my channel. See me a little bit sweaty, right? I'm working, but yeah, I like to discuss what creativity, creative hobby I started doing recently that I thought you guys would be able to benefit from. I heard from the author Ray Bradbury. He's the author of Fahrenheit 451, and he said he recommended, if you want to improve your writing creativity, if you want to be like an author, or you just want to get better at writing in general, right? Write one short story per week. So for example, what I write 2 to 3 pages every day for 5 days, for 5 to 6 days. Then on the 6th day, that's when I do my editing. Then for my editing, I type it in my computer. I first write in my notebook 2 to 3 pages every day, and then of course editing, then I transition to my computer. And I started doing that, writing one short story each week, right? If you do one short story each week for 1 year, you just did 50 plus short stories, right? Instead of someone just waiting to write the perfect book, the perfect novel, and they just sit around all day and they just contemplate and thinking about it, right? That's not gonna get you anywhere. Like, you can get a lot more things done when you just take little bites, take little pieces for each week, right? Don't worry about making it perfect, the editing, the story making sense, the topics. Just write. Because the more you write, the more you improve, the more you see your errors, the more everything will just self-police itself. And then you'll be able to just organically become a better writer. You don't need to take classes or wait for that perfect idea. Just start writing. Write topics. For me, for example, I write topics on my personal experiences, what I've seen from others. I like to write like psychological novels. So I've been heavily influenced by like Dostoevsky, Fyodor Dostoevsky. If you ever read like The Brothers of Karamazov, I was heavily influenced by that book. Once I read that book, I was like, whoa, you can make a masterpiece like that. Like, you could become a psychologist by writing these interesting characters, their motives, their insecurities, their fears, who makes them who they are. Like, once you start seeing that, you're like, wow, I can create these characters that are complex and they're not straightforward, right? It's like people in real life. People are very complex, right? We all have traumas, fears. We have good traits, we have bad traits. Like, we're not linear. We're not one person's like purely good, another person purely evil. It's just, we all have our dark side. We all have our toxic traits, things that we're not proud of, and things that we've regretted in the past. But we have to learn from them. We have to self-reflect. And through these writings per week, it tremendously helps me bring out my thoughts, bring out my characters, makes my characters come to life, and building a foundation of the story. It's really exciting. And I would definitely heavily recommend writing one short story each week. Like I said, if you do that for 5 days, you just wrote about 12 to 15 pages. Now you just wrote a short story, right? And if you do that each week, I promise you'll be a tremendously more improved person, writer, intellect in the span of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. So I thought I'd just give you guys that advice, technique that if you guys wanted to try, I know it was tremendously helpful for me. And just putting your thoughts on paper, it's very therapeutic. When you put something connect with your brain to the paper, it's eye-opening. It gives you more self-awareness, and it makes you want to be more observant of your settings, your circumstances, because then everything has potential to be your writing. Everything has potential to be your work, right? Each individual you meet, each setting you have, each different experiences you have, everything's has potential to be in your story, in your work, if you pay attention and observe enough. So that's all I had today. I'll see you later.